Boris with outlets in France. Go ahead, Boris.
Hi, hello. Hello, Organ Quiz. Please, can you tell us about the characters in the second season, please?
Yes, Leonard Geist is the CEO and creator of Geist Industries. And his history is that of a botanist and a following in his father's footsteps as his father was a World War II vet, so Leonard, he looked up to his father. They went on survivalist trips out into the wilderness. He learned appreciation for botany, and so he volunteered for Vietnam. Was very crushed by the uselessness of that war, and turned away from, well, just wanted to pursue a different way of life through this small company that grew to such a giant.
And Audrey Temple we see her in the first season. She is a lower level employee. In that first season, we see her working at the reception desk. She's an assistant to Colin Belfast, who is played by Bobby Cannavale. In the second season, we're going to see Audrey Temple try to gain more power, more of a position of leadership and influence within the Geist Corporation. It's still a bit of a mystery to us what exactly Geist as a company does. We know that it makes general household products, but we're going to see what else they do and how far their ambitions reach. And Audrey sees in Leonard Geist somebody who could potentially take her under his wing and help her professionally and in her career. So she's really trying to impress him and endear herself professionally to him.
All right, thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, but next we have Amandine from France.
Yes. Ong, you're one of the only actor to be back on the season 2. Was it different for you to be working on the first one and on the second one with the complete different storyline?
No, it wasn't. When I signed up for the first season, it was with the understanding that I would come back. My character, Audrey Temple, would come back as a larger, further explored character. So I knew going into it that she wouldn't just be a lowly receptionist the entire time. And that really interested me. I was ready to take that leap of faith with the writers because I thought the scripts for season 1 was so great. I had listened to the original podcast and was very impressed by their ability to tell such an engaging story using so little. It reminded me of the old radio plays that we used to listen to, not me, but I mean that we as a culture used to have, and they were so engrossing. And it's really just sitting, similar to the experience of theater, just sitting in a dark space and only connecting to the voice of the actors. And that was mainly what season 1 was. In season 2, I think the writers, Micah and Eli, really wanted to challenge themselves and blow up the world and see more of the characters outside of the workplace. And we see that with Janelle and Stephan's characters, where all of these different story elements and details that come up where we don't quite know how it all ties together. We do at the end, but Mike and Eli really did a great job this season of teasing those little details and bits of information throughout the episodes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next we have Lorenzo representing outlets in Italy.
Hello, hi, congratulations to you both. What does playing a character in a series like this one give you as opposed to a character in a movie in terms of experience, since you can explore it through different episodes and make it like look at how it evolves throughout time? What's your perception of it?
My perception is no different. This is seven episodes, half hour. That gives us what, 3.5 hours? What is that? A feature and a half? 2 features? I just don't see any difference. And that's in the way I work. No difference at all.
I think Homecoming is a bit different from other TV series in that these episodes are really all tied in together. We had all 7 episodes before we started filming, so we already knew where the characters were going to go. I think that's different with other episodic shows where the scripts are coming out week by week and they're writing them as they go, so they themselves don't know where the characters are going yet. So with a show like that, I think it would be different. You're planning as an actor the arc of your character just within that one contained episode. But with Homecoming, we had the same director for the entire season. We block shot kind of the way that you would a film. So it was a lot of jumping back and forth. So as an actor, you're keeping all of that information in your head while you're shooting the scenes. So in that way, it felt more like a feature film.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Joe from the Black Cape in the US.
Hi. I want to talk about the relationship both of your characters had with power. Leonard seemed to be kind of trying to maybe shrink from it a bit or maybe control it. And maybe Audrey was trying to grasp more. Can you guys talk about the your characters and their relationship with power in this season?
I don't think Leonard Geist ever considered the idea of being a CEO. It was the farthest thing from his mind. And his product simply took off. And I think we'll see. I don't know how much I can give away here, but he's happy. He's happy in his own world. And it's often not in the guts of Geist industry.
I think for Audrey Temple, she is a person who is decent and good at her core, but she questions a lot of things and feels like there are certain things that she's supposed to chase after. She's supposed to chase after power and influence, and she's supposed to want a higher level job. She's supposed to want respect. She's supposed to want all of these things. And those sorts of values are ingrained in us through a culture that really celebrates ambition and material gain and material wealth. And so this is just the society and the culture that we all live in. And she's a little bit of a victim of that, where she is a very smart and capable person and can think for herself, but just the influence and the pressures really get to her. So she is chasing after something that she's not quite sure she personally really wants, but feels that she's supposed to. want. And that creates a bit of a moral dilemma for her in the season, and we'll see how that works out. But it's a very uncomfortable desire for her power.
Thank you both. Those are great answers.
All right, and next we have Ravi representing outlets in India.
So my question to you guys is that since you both represent the corporate side of the story, I want to ask you, what do you believe are the motivations of your characters? And what part of their personality that you resonated with you?
I think for me, what resonated about my character, even though I don't think that we're similar, I think I understand her desire to be a good person, but to also not feel like a chump.
At this point.
So it's very easy to, especially within the workplace, certain qualities are not celebrated. If you are a flexible person, or somebody who's willing to compromise, or somebody who's willing to let somebody else speak before you, or to maybe get ahead, or to take credit, and those sorts of things are not really rewarded in the workplace, and you have to develop some sort of killer instinct in order to really rise in the ranks at a corporation like Geist. And that's not really in Audrey Temple's DNA, I don't think, and it's a struggle for her. So I could empathize with that. I think it's a part of growing up professionally, it's a part of professional maturity, learning how to deal with power dynamics within an organization.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so now we will just open it up to anyone else. If you have your camera on, please just raise your hand. If you have another question, if your video's off, feel free to chat me if you have another question. Is there anyone else who would like to ask an additional question? All right, Boris, go ahead, sir.
Hi, please. What can you tell us about your work with Janelle Monáe on this second season, please?
I can give you a quick wrap up with that as far as I'm concerned. We have many stories going on, and I think Janelle and I are together within one shot, but whole different story going on between Janelle and myself.
And I will just say in general, Janelle is a star. She's smart, she's beautiful, she's going to have a very long acting career. And I think her fans will be very pleased with seeing this more stripped down, rugged version of the Janelle Monáe that we've come to know.
All right, thank you. Ravi, you had another question, sir?
Yeah, hi. So my question was to Mr. Cooper. Sir, you recently starred in A Beautiful Day in Neighborhood. Then you also had Little Women, and now Homecoming. How would you describe this phase of your career?
This phase of the career has not changed. I'm blessed to be able to choose the material that interests me. I'm still extremely active in the business. It was last year and the previous year we're very busy, and I hope that continues. So I'm just coasting along, looking for the next job.
Thank you.
All right, next we'll go to Joe.
This question is primarily for Hong, but Chris may have some input. I watched a few extra episodes and saw that Audrey's arc, she has a bit of a, woman of color in the workplace. And she's like making some big themes come to life. And one of them is being seen and heard by her peers in the office place. And it seems like Leonard is the only one in management who's, a white guy who's actually sees her as a person who is sees her worth. Why is it that, do you think that Leonard has that ability to see her worth and, what she can do for the company, and the others cannot? They actually use her terribly a few times. So.
Well, I think Leonard can probably recognize a little bit of the homegrownness of Audrey Temple's character. I think when you're at the top, you don't really have to try. And I think that there are other people at the company who are still trying to get to a higher place, whereas Leonard Geist is already the highest you can go. That's where the buck stops, is Leonard Geist. And so he doesn't have anything to prove to anyone at that company. And so he can be in a position to look at everyone very soberly. And he sees that this is a young woman who is really trying and wants to work hard. And I think that somebody like Leonard Geist really appreciates that. I don't think he's looking for a smooth talker or somebody who's really flashy. There's nothing gimmicky about Audrey Temple, and she's just very earnest in the way that she approaches him. And I think that that's what he's responding to. There's another character that Audrey Temple really gravitates to, and that's played by the great Joan Cusack. Her character's name is Francine Bunda. And similarly there, I think Audrey Temple is just taken aback when somebody in a position of leadership really shows that they believe in her. And I think that Francine Bunda is somebody who is somebody who Audrey can look up to, because she is a woman who is thriving in a historically male-dominated institution, the military. And I think she just thinks Francine is just so fascinating, and wants to, learn as much as she can from her as well.
All right. Thank you all very much. Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have. So if you wouldn't mind making your way back to hospitality or looking for the email that they're sending to you. But thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.